Welcome to the Wheats on Your Mind podcast. My name is Aaron Harries. Wheats on Your Mind is brought to you by the Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. On this episode of the podcast, my guest is Dr. Joseph Awika with Kansas State University. Joseph Awika became department head for the Grain Science and Industry Department at Kansas State University in August of 2024. He also serves as director of the Food Science Institute. Awika joins K-State from Texas A&M University, where he has been the department head of that university's Department of Food Science and Technology. He earned his undergraduate degree at Edgerton University in Kenya and a doctoral degree in Food Science and Technology from Texas A&M. Dr. Awika, welcome to the podcast. And welcome to K-State. So tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Where did you study? And how did you find your way to Manhattan?
Yeah, so I'm from Kenya, of course. I was born and raised in Kenya, and that's where I got my undergraduate degree. And my undergraduate degree was actually in dairy science. So dairy manufacturing, so yes. And then after I graduated, I worked in the dairy industry for about a year or so, and then an opportunity to go to graduate school came calling, and that was at Texas A&M University in Food Science and Technology. So I started my graduate education at Texas A&M around 1998, got both my master's and PhD over there, and in 2003 I graduated, and after graduating I went to Arkansas State University in Jonesboro as an assistant professor, mostly teaching. It's a 4-year college. And from there, after 1 year, I was like, I wanted to do some research, mix in with teaching. So I went over to University of Missouri, Columbia, where I was, again, assistant professor. I worked there for about 3 years, and then Texas A&M came calling again. So that's when they invited me to go back again as to be a member of the faculty there to run their cereal quality program and cereal chemistry research. And so I went back there in 2008, and I've been there for quite a while, because until last fall when this opportunity at Kansas State came up. So this was initially not really particularly interested in applying for the opportunity, but they pitched it to me in they had different people pitch it to me, and it seemed very exciting. And the key things that excited me about it was especially the global center and the opportunity that it represented in terms of actually advancing research and impact of grain and related sciences, and especially bringing not just our university but other entities around the world together to actually lead a research that actually make an impact through grain and grain-based products.
What has some of your research focus been in the past?
My research has focused primarily on how to actually make grains more healthy for humans, to derive how can we make grain commodities more beneficial to human health. So I've been focusing primarily on things we call secondary metabolites that we find in grains, things like polyphenols and other components that we can actually use to improve the beneficial effects of grains to human health. Because you know that grains are kind of the staple. I mean, without grains, I don't think we can survive as humans, or we could have advanced as we have, much as we have. But also they come at a cost, because processes that they go through to make them more palatable also tend to remove some of the beneficial components, like, for example, bran and the dietary fiber that come with those. Those are typically separated, and we lose a lot of the benefits that we could otherwise derive. So my research focuses on not just improving the functionality of the bran component, but also maybe deriving the compounds from the bran that would make the grain products more healthy without the unwanted sensory effects that the bran would bring to the product. So
yeah. Fascinating research. Human health and improved health in grains and fibers and starches is really on the forefront right now. On the Global Center for Grain and Food Innovation, which you mentioned briefly, which is the new building that is being built here on the campus, northern side of the campus at Kansas State University, you're in a great position because you get to watch a building that's going to be your future home going from the ground up. And so Tell us what the status of that construction is right now.
We get monthly updates on the construction, and it's actually kind of refreshing to see that now we are beginning to see beams going upright, because we've been getting updates, but you look there and you see nothing because it's just been a hole in the ground.
Right.
But apparently there's a lot that has to go on at the basement, at the ground, to actually get a building up and going. But now we're seeing those beams and whatever's coming up, and the shape of the building is actually beginning to be noticeable, visible. So we're really excited about the progress, and they reassuring us that we will be able to move into that building by the summer of next year. So
wow,
it's exciting.
That's exciting. So what will be in this building? I know there's different departments. It's attached to Call Hall, and it's attached to the existing Weber Hall. So there is some animal science involved too, but specifically for the Department of Grain Science and Industry, what will be in this new facility?
So this building is going to be our home and our base and our headquarters, because we are losing our current building, which is Schellenberger, which is, from what I'm told, has been condemned because it's not kind of repairable. It's not in a repairable state. So our entire teaching component of the grain science and industry, both pilot, including pilot milling and pilot baking labs, are going to be housed in the new building. We are also going to have a general pilot food science processing facility in there that is going to include all food-based products, essentially, because as you know, we have also inherited the food science program as of January of this year. So food science is going to be a part of our department already. So they're going to have a home there. We're also going to have a pilot facility for pet food, which is a big and growing area, very rapidly growing area. Yeah. So that's another component we're really excited about. And of course, the core research units for our department are also going to be housed there, and faculty and staff and student lounges are all going to be in the building. So I would say that the current grain science programs are going to occupy about 2/3 of the building, and then 1/3 is earmarked for kind of collaboration, developing collaboration with other components of the university, with industry partners and others that can actually help elevate us to that global status we are aspiring for.
The pet food industry is actually very large in Kansas. I think Kansas is one of the largest pet food manufacturing states in the country. So
that's correct.
Industry is collaborating with you on designing and putting this facility in the new center?
Yes.
Great.
We're working very closely with some industry partners, with key partners, yes.
You mentioned also that the Food Science Institute is moving over to the department. For those who maybe aren't familiar, what does that institute do?
So Kansas State University has had a food science program, which is kind of, I would say, the more general wing of grain science, because grain science is essentially food science, but more specialized. We focus on grains. Food science deals with anything and everything that humans actually consume, and the science that goes into making those products. And this program has always been embedded in animal science, and the university leadership saw that it was in the best interest of this program to combine with the grain science, which is essentially, because they're complementary, as I've said, grain science is a component of food science. So combining these two programs made the most sense in terms of advancing both of them to become the best they can be in the country and in the world. We're going to have a food science program and then a grain science program that is a specialized entity within the food science, yes.
I'm sure current students, especially freshmen and sophomore, who will get to be in this new building, are excited about the opportunity. How is the development of the new center helping out with recruiting new students?
We think this is one of the going to be the biggest side benefits, because right now, I mean, recruiting is a major challenge for us, and it's an area that is a top priority for us at the undergrad level. And our current building is not helping at all. I mean, if you bring students, the state of the building is kind of pathetic, to be honest. And if you bring parents and students, I mean, you take one look at it. If I were a young kid trying to go to college, I'm like, nope, know where I'm going to belong. I may not tell you to your face, but my decision is just going to speak for itself.
Right.
And so it's been a major challenge. And so this new building, we believe, is going to be a major boost in our ability to recruit top talent to our program, yes.
And I think you have a recruiter in the department, don't you?
Yes, a very hardworking lady, but we are not giving her the tools to do her job as effectively as she could. So we believe that the Global Center is really going to open up that opportunity to make her shine.
So if the center opens in August of 2026, what does the transition look like between Schellenberger and the new building? Is that all going to happen during that summer?
So we at least based on the plans, we are supposed to begin our fall semester of 2026 at the Global Center, and we're gonna be moving all our teaching labs and installing all our pilots in that Schellenberger within the summer and maybe early fall. Mm-hmm. And so we expect our move into Schellenberger to be complete in the fall semester of next year.
Great.
Out of Schellenberger, sorry.
Yeah, wonderful. So you've got great facilities here on campus already. We're in the Wheat Innovation Center here on the North Grain Science campus with the Hal Ross Flour Mill and the Cruz Feed Mill. When you get the center done, there's really not going to be any grain science department like this anywhere in the United States, is there?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So what is the philosophy that you bring to the Grain Science and Industry Department in terms of teaching and research? What are your priorities?
So here, you're right. I mean, we're going to have a shining facility, but a facility is not going to, I always say a facility is there, but it's only, I would say, contributes 5%. It's the people and the ideas that contribute the rest. I mean, people are not going to come because of a building. People are going to come because you have ideas that attract the audience and actually create an impact. So we've developed 4 core priority areas that we want to lead in within this facility that fit within our food and grain science as well as feed and pet food areas. So priority number 1 is human health and well-being. So we want to lead in the research that transform grains and related components, especially plant-based component, into products that really promote human health and impact human health in a big way. Our priority number 2 is sustainability, because that is another major area that is of a big concern to everybody. And sustainability is not just about protecting the environment, but it's also about improving efficiencies that make the manufacturing of food actually more profitable. Because if you can be more efficient, then you get more in your pocket that way. So it's a big benefit to everybody. Area number 3 is innovative technologies, because we want to lead through by developing technologies that other universities and the industry and others globally can actually learn from and imitate and use to actually improve their processes. So we want to be the technology leaders in the area of grain and food manufacturing. And then priority number 4 is our animal health, as well as what I would say food biosecurity. So this focuses on area of improving efficiency in the feed production, focusing on animals and animal production systems, as well as the biosecurity, protecting the food supply through and by ensuring that the animals are kind of a feed chain that goes into the animal and the food chain that goes into that entire value chain, feed, animals, and then animal as food are actually protected in a way that ensures the traceability, and we can ensure that our food supply is safe. And the other area here is when you're talking about animal health, pet health is very important here, and pet health is actually also ties it back to human health, because when your pet is unwell, it causes stress on you as a pet owner. So pet health, we see that as a clear link also with human health. So it's kind of like a circular thing that we believe is going to really help our program shine. So 4 major areas of priorities where we're going to seek leadership in terms of collaborations within campus, across universities in the U.S., and also with the private sector and with our global partners.
Speaking of private sector, Grain Science at K-State has always had a good relationship with the commercial sector, the ultimate destination for your students in milling science, baking science, and feed science. Those collaborations are important, but more importantly, If you're a student in grain science, the job opportunities are plentiful, aren't they?
Correct.
What are the higher need demands for the industry right now?
Manpower. That's the thing they've been stressing to me, that we are not training enough people for them. And that's kind of really embarrassing to me, that it's an obligation on us to make sure that we have enough manpower to meet the industry needs. And right now, the biggest challenge is that we are not training enough students because we're not attracting enough into our program. And so that is really, really top priority for us. Another area that the industry has highlighted is that they think some of our curriculum is a little bit outdated and not keeping up with the times. So they would like to have more of a say when we are reviewing our curriculum and making revisions. They would like to provide input to help us train people who have more relevant skills for what they need now and into the future. It's very important.
Well, exciting times, Dr. Awika, and we're certainly glad to have you here in Manhattan at K-State. It's going to be exciting when the new Global Innovation Center opens up, and we'll have you back to talk about that when you're in your new home.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My thanks to Dr. Joseph Awika with the Grain Science and Industry Department at Kansas State University for visiting with me on this episode of the podcast. If you have a question or topic you'd like us to cover in the future, please email us at kswheat@kswheat.com. I'm Aaron Harries. Thanks for listening.